despite the crippling anxiety you may be feeling right now as you're watching this video, you will get better. You will get stronger. You will survive this. You will thrive after this, especially if you do the work, especially if you make it a point to turn this into a positive. What up, guys? We're going to be talking about how to get back your power from the psychopath or narcissist abuser in your life. Because oftentimes it feels like we're giving these low vibration entities more power than they actually have, more power than they actually deserve to even discuss when we're telling the story, when we're sharing our experience with others. We tend to put these monsters at such a high level. It's funny because at the beginning of a relationship with a psychopath or with a narcissist, you're being idealized, you're being love bombed. But at the same time, you as the victim, well, a future victim, because you don't know you're a victim yet, you're also putting them on a pedestal. You're also putting them in a place that they don't yet deserve or merit. You're kind of like responding to that love bomb. You're feeling so good. They make you feel so good. How they overwhelm you with such attention, admiration, gifts, anything that you want, anything you could have ever imagined that you weren't getting from your ex-wife or your ex-husband or your previous relationship. And here comes this person, and it just seems like they're your soulmate. It seems like they were put on the planet to save you from everything you've ever been through. Seems like they came into your life at the right time when you were ready to meet that special someone that you were longing for all your life. So you put them on a pedestal too, and you tell everybody, oh my God, like, they blow up my phone every day. They're constantly sending me cute little texts. And the sex is the best I've ever had. And they're so attracted to me. And they tell me all these compliments nonstop. And something my ex-wife wouldn't do or my ex-girlfriend couldn't do. Like, wow. So in a way, you're putting them on a pedestal too. Right? You're putting them on a pedestal too. And once the abuse starts to happen, once you actually go through that toxic relationship, once that mask comes off and you see them for who they really are, and things get ugly, right? It's not just that when the mask comes off, you see their ugly face. No, things get ugly in that entanglement, in that toxic relationship. And then you still put them on a pedestal in a different way. You put them on this pedestal of power. Now, why does that phenomenon happen? Well, when you're dealing with a crazy, unhinged psychopath, like when you're dealing with someone that becomes so obsessed with you, like a stalker, right? Like these highly disordered people, even narcissists that are not at that level of psychopathy, it seems they're obsessed with you because they're slandering your name to everybody. They constantly talk about you to their new supplies. You're always on their radar. Why? If they don't want anything to do with you, if they discarded you, if they devalued you, and they terminated that relationship by cheating, which happens most of the time, not all the time. You're going to get those comments, Kira, they never cheated. I don't care. Most of them do. Why do they keep talking about you? Why do they keep bringing up your name in every relationship that they get into? Why do they keep obsessing over you? Right? So even when the psychopath narcissist is out of your life, we still give them the power to live rent-free in our head. Think about that. And speaking of thinking about thinking, isn't that what we do? We constantly think about them. We constantly, what's the word? Oh, yeah, ruminate about the narcissist. We ruminate. Like if we don't have better things to think about in our life, I guarantee all of you have better things going on in your life. All of you have better things to think about. But you choose, and yes, you do choose because we all have a choice. We just don't know it when we're going through the mess. But you choose to focus all your thoughts on the psychopath, on the narcissist, on your abuser, trying to untangle the web, trying to figure out the puzzle of what went wrong, why they did what they did, why did they do it in such fashion after they had promised you the world. Why did they turn on you? Why did they betray you? How were they able to do something so cruel? And you constantly think about them and think about them and think about them, hoping that you're going to arrive at an answer that's going to make you feel better. You're going to arrive at that closure that you never get from a narcissist. And you go in circles in your head, and you never get there. You never get there. So if someone's constantly in your head, it seems that they're pretty powerful. It seems as they're pretty powerful. Because no matter what you do, you can't get them out of your head. And when they start harassing you, and they start getting their exes calling you, and they start to turn your friends against you, and they start to stalk your social media, and they start calling you from different numbers, and no matter what you do, it seems like you can't get rid of them. As long as nothing violent happens, they're not really a threat. They're not really a danger. It's perceived danger. So we give these predators more power than they deserve, because when you have PTSD from a narcissistic, abusive relationship, anything and everything that those predators do to you, the brain perceives it as danger. Okay? Rightfully so. It's psychology. It doesn't know any better. Your brain wants to keep you safe. So when their name keeps popping up on your caller ID, even after you block them and you want nothing to do with them, and then they call you from another number, like little bitches, and they call you from another number and another number. They show up at your house and you tell them, hey, you're not allowed to be here, right? Sometimes the police has to get involved, right? Sometimes you have to get a restraining order on these losers, and they don't stop, and they don't stop. Nothing violent has happened yet, but it might, or at least that's what we think might happen, because sometimes things do get out of control. But it feels like, man, we're dealing with like a Goliath here. And they're not that powerful. But when they keep coming at you from all these different angles, and no matter what you do, you can't get rid of them. They betrayed you. They backstabbed you. They're slandering your name. They're trying to turn everybody against you. Smear campaigns here, smear campaigns there. Triangulation with the new supply, triangulation with the old supply. No matter what, they can't take a hint. No matter what. So it seems like they're very powerful entities. But just like the Wizard of Oz, they're really small people. They have no power. It's all smoke and mirrors, guys. It's all smoke and mirrors. But when you're going through this stuff, sometimes words aren't enough. Your brain needs proof, not promise. Your brain needs to actually see they're a piece of crap. Your brain actually needs to see that they're the scum of the earth, right? And even so, even when you see something like that, you have so much accumulated trauma that those intrusive thoughts, unwanted thoughts keep popping up. It's almost like if you're in your own prison, right? It's almost like if the psychopath has you in their prison, even though the relationship is over and you're actually free, you're still in the prison. And that's why we make a Goliath out of these narcissistic predators. But I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be that way. You know, it doesn't have to be that way. If, like, think back, you know how they say hindsight is 20/20. If you go back and if someone were to tell you, hey, you know what? I know you're going through some shit now, but in 2 years, this is all going to be over and you're going to be just fine and you're actually going to be better than you were before. You might not want to go through those 2 years of hell, because who the hell wants to go through 2 years of hell, right? So your path is still going to be the same, but I promise you, when you arrive at around the 2-year mark, if you're doing the work, all that's just sunk cost. That time is gone forever. You went through the experience and now you're in a better place. And you can actually see with clarity now. And I was like, all right, well, wow, I'm thriving now. My life is better. I have a lot more experience in a lot of things now. I'm well-versed in a lot of things. I went through narcissistic abuse and I survived. Then it was all worth it. I know right now, if you're going through this right now, that may not sound like, that may not sound ideal. That may not sound great because you want instant relief. But these types of things do not go away overnight. It's part of the process. It's like any other experience that you've ever had. This one just got your attention harder because it's psychological trauma, right? Anything that has to do with the psyche just hits you a lot harder, especially since it's not like the passing of a loved one, which sucks, really sucks, but it's part of life. If you're born into this planet, you're born with the guarantee of death. That's guaranteed. So it's part of life. And as humans, we're able to eventually accept with a loss. We grieve and we go through that period, but we accept it because it is part of the laws of the universe. But the betrayal that a narcissist and a psychopath does, is that part of the laws of the universe? I mean, it's all inclusive, so I guess it's part of the entirety, right? But it doesn't seem to fit into that circle of life mold. So it's harder to cope. It's harder to cope with that. It's harder to accept that the person you loved and trusted and shared a bed with turned out to be your biggest enemy. But you're still going to get through it. See, that's the thing. You're still going to get through this. The narcissists, on the other hand, they have to live with that disorder for the rest of their crummy life or lives. They still have to live with that. That's not going to change. That's not going to get any better. Yes, they're going to become better manipulators. They're going to become better abusers. But their condition is not going to get better. You feel me? You, on the other hand, despite the PTSD, despite the crippling anxiety you may be feeling right now as you're watching this video, you will get better. You will get stronger. You will survive this. You will thrive after this, especially if you do the work, especially if you make it a point to turn this into a positive. You will get through this. That's the beauty of it. Everybody does. Thing is, you have to do the work. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in this for a very long time. You're going to suffer longer than you have to. But believe me, you're going to get through it. The narcissist, on the other hand, no matter who they marry, no matter what they post on their social media, no matter who they start dating, they're going to self-sabotage that situation again. That situation is going to blow up in their face again. They're going to triangulate that new partner again. They're going to bring up your name again. They're going to just ruin whatever it is that they touch, because that's what narcissists do. That's what they do, guys. I didn't make up these rules. Okay? It seems that they all follow the same patterns. And victims of narcissistic abuse, and I'm talking about real victims, because we live in a time, I mean, this topic has gotten so popular and so trendy over the past few years that the narcissists themselves are using this information to blame shift and accuse you of being a narcissist now, and they're using all the buzzwords and gaslighting here and gaslighting there, all this stuff you're hearing now. It's ridiculous. But if you're really a victim of narcissistic abuse, there's no denying that. You can't fake that. And as you study this information, you see everyone goes through the same stuff. Everyone feels the same things, right? They're nuanced because we're all individuals, but there's patterns to it, right? So the same thing is with the abuser. We're giving these people so much power that they don't have. Guys, they are cowards. Okay? They do not have, they cannot produce their own energy. They have to suck your energy. And when they deplete you, they find another source of supply. They cannot generate their own light. Imagine going about life like that. Like, I wouldn't want that. So I tell you guys, when you see those social media posts, and you shouldn't be seeing them because you should block these people out of your life. But when you're watching those stuff, I know you guys do, and you get all butthurt. Oh, look, they're walking into the sunset. They actually got married within 6 months of meeting each other. Meanwhile, I was dating them for 3 years and they never even proposed. Who cares? It's all smoke and mirrors. You think that's a happy relationship? If they are what they are, that relationship is already doomed. You're just seeing what they're posting. You're seeing what they want you to see. You're not seeing the truth. The same way that nobody could see what you were going through, the same way nobody believed you when you started telling those closest to you that you're partnered with a psychopath and was a narcissist, and they were like, well, this person is always nice to me, and they give to charity, and everybody in the neighborhood loves them. Maybe you're the problem, because I heard from him or from her that you're the one that's abusing. You're the abuser. So they don't believe you because they see the facade that they create. But indoors, like in the home, only the spouse sees that. Those are the ones that see the truth, right? So do not be fooled when you see those posts on social media and think that they're living a happy life and that their new spouse is super happy. That's BS. I promise you guys, that's already falling apart. And there's all sorts of drama going on. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually they try to contact you. You shouldn't speak to them, but that's just the way it goes. It sucks. It really does suck. But, the whole point of this video is just wanted to talk about how we make a Goliath out of these narcissists, and we build them up to be much more powerful than they actually are, which creates more crippling anxiety within us, right? When you ruminate and you're in fear of this Goliath, it's just like the Wizard of Oz, guys. You're alone, it's 3 a.m, and you're overthinking. I remember I used to do the same thing. And this was a chick that I went through. I'm not scared of a girl. It's not that. It's that in my head, she was this succubus, this giant, serpent with 19 tentacles and glowing red eyes and fangs and all this stuff that my subconscious would create. And just walking down the street and seeing anybody that resembled her, I would feel this crippling panic, at the beginning of the discard. And it's silly, right? Like once I was within proximity of the person and I saw that it wasn't them, it's like then reality hit me. It's like, oh, it's just a girl. And even if it was the psycho, it's just a girl. Like it's not like she's walking with some, with a gun, with this super advanced quadruple rocket launcher ready to blow my head off or something like that. But yet we still create this Goliath in our head. And the thought of seeing them again, the thought of checking your phone and their name pops up or something like that scares the living hell out of you. And they're just a bunch of little cowards. That's all they are, a bunch of little cowards. So think about that. Think about that. Try to catch yourself when you're ruminating. Try to catch yourself when you feel that crippling anxiety over this narcissist that has been out of your life for a few months already. And, look around you and ask yourself, is this monster, right? Because we call them monsters, but, are they really monsters like in the movies, and they're going to crawl out of your bed, right? And they have supernatural powers, and they can fly, and they can shoot, fireballs from their hands. It's not like that, right? It's not the Predator. It's not the Alien, right? It's not Jason Voorhees. It's not Freddy Krueger, even though they do live in your nightmares. But it's not that. It's the PTSD. It's the trauma response that makes these people out to be scarier than they actually are. But they're a bunch of little bitches. They're a bunch of little cowards. Disordered individuals that go about doing the same thing like lost children that haven't grown up. And they're stuck in this perpetual, it's a perpetual nightmare for them as well as for the victim. But they're in that cycle. They're never going to get out of that. They're going to repeat history. And once they seduce that person that they're so obsessed with now, they're going to find everything wrong with them, and they're going to sabotage the relationship, because that's what narcissists do. Okay? So give that a thought. Contemplate on that. Take this information into your meditation. Journal some of these things, and leave me a comment below if this makes sense to you. I want you to write out your observations. Like, do a pros and cons list. Anything to get out of your head. Anything to get out of your head, because if you're living inside of your head, it's like you're in a prison and you need to get out. All right? If you need help with that, I have a private coaching program, one-on-one. We work over Zoom. I can help you guys make advanced progress through this trauma, through this PTSD. We help identify the fears. We help identify the situation of the relationship, everything that's going on. Can help you get out of this faster than if you're trying to figure this out on your own. I have a link below in the description and down here as well. If you want to reach out and work together with me, there's no time to waste, guys. Life is short. The time is going to pass by anyway, so you might as well do whatever it takes to get out of this nightmare now, so you can start living and thriving. All right. So I hope to hear back from you guys soon. Drop a like on the video. Remember to subscribe and share this video if you have any friends or family that are also going through the situation, that are right now in fear of this narcissist, and they're having insane panic attacks, and they're making a Goliath right out of the situation. And send them this video so they can see that, hey, it's gonna be okay, right? Let's just put everything out on paper. Really talk about the reality of things, not the fantasy stuff that lives in our head. Just take a good hard look at the facts, right? At the facts. Take a deep breath, right? One foot in front of the next. You're not alone. We've all gone through this stuff, all right? And I promise you, it does get better, but only gets better when you're out of the relationship. Okay? As long as you're still dating or still married to the narcissist, that relationship's never going to improve. Okay, but your life does get better when you get out. All right? So I'll talk to you guys later. My name is Kita. This is Psychopath Exposure. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.